Hello guys, I hope you are doing great. Welcome to CFD College. I'm Ashkan and we have a new course for you. In this series of videos, we are going to talk about Tecplot and post-processing in Tecplot. As you know, Tecplot is a very powerful software in post-processing. uh, you can import your simulation results, your numerical results. Uh, the source can be any software, but in this course, we will focus on uh, data that are, exported from ANSYS Fluent. Uh, we will talk about different options and capabilities of TechPlot in this course. And I hope you enjoy this course and it would be useful for you. So, this is the first tutorial. Let's jump to TechPlot and see this software. As you can see, it's so simple. We have a menu here. Throughout the course, we will work and we will get familiar with some of these options and some of these, commands. Here there are some of the options that are available from the menu bar. Uh, this is the framework. This is the frame that we work on. Here we will have a tree, for example, for contour, for any chart that you have for uh, displaying contour, mesh, and everything and anything that you want to create and see in this frame. So in this uh, first session, we are going to talk about uh, you know, plotting different charts in Tecplot. So imagine you simulated a project and you have exported the data from the software, or even you can have some experimental data. It doesn't matter. You have your data in Excel sheet. For example, here I have two cases. This is case one. And for this case, I have temperature and velocity along the x coordinates. This is case 2. And I want to uh, plot the temperature along x-axis and x-coordinate in Tecplot. Uh, so to import the data for charts, for any chart to Tecplot, you can use uh, either Excel or a text file. I, usually recommend students to use the second method, which is employing a text file and importing the data through text file because it's so much easier. So I would recommend you to see this session and learn it. To do so, it's easy. You can go to the directory, any directory that you have, and you can create a text document using the notepad, which is already installed on your system, or you can create it in Notepad++, which is a really powerful software. I use the Notepad, which is already installed in the on the system on the Windows. This is my text file. I can change the name, for example, temp on case 1. First, imagine that you have only one plot and you want to plot that uh, in Tecplot. So open the text file and simply you can copy and paste the data in that text file. Control C, Control V, uh, and I remove the headers. If you want to, uh, you know, write the header or specify the x-axis and y-axis variable, you can do it in Tecplot, or you can do it here in the text file. I will do both. So at the first line, you can write variable. Yeah. So you can identify variables are equal to the first one, which is x, and you can specify the unit. And the second one is temperature with the unit of Kelvin. You can specify a name for this series. You can write down zone space T equal to, for example, case 1 T. Then you can save it by Control S. I save it, and then you can change the you know, format of this file from txt to plt. If you don't see the file format in your system, you can go to folder option under the view tab. Here you can see hide extensions for known file types. You can deselect it and click OK. Then you can see the file format, or you can use Notepad++. So I change it from txt to plt, which is the default format for Tecplot. Then you can simply open it, or you can drag and drop that file to the uh, Tecplot. As you can see here, we are, Tecplot identifies the file, which is an X file line. You can uh, draw a polar line, sketch 2D Cartesian and 3D Cartesian actually. 2D and 3D Cartesian is for drawing contours. X file line is for drawing a chart, is for plotting a chart, and polar line is for a polar chart. So XY line is okay. We will work with XY line in this video. As you can see, the X axis and Y axis, they have titles and labels. The titles are as we indicated in the file. So you can and you can modify this chart. The first thing that I always do is to reduce the size of this frame, because this frame is too big for for putting in our report. So by double clicking, if you double click on the edge of this frame, this is the only frame that we have. You can active frame sidebar if you want to see how many frames do you have. So I always reduce the width and height to 5 and 4. This is, this view represents the view that we will see of charts in our reports, papers, and thesis. So this is the chart. Let me do some modification by double click. If you double click on the axis name, or you can go to here, plot, tab, and axis. You can access the settings, many of the settings actually. Here you can, you know, select the axis that you want to modify. For example, this is X1. Uh, and here there are some tabs for us. For example, range. The range is the x-axis range. For example, I change it to 0 to 10. You can use reset range, for example, to nice values, to variable min and max, and or you can change it manually. Uh, I can do it for a y-axis. Here we have dependency option. Now x and y axis says are independent, which means that if I change the x-axis, y-axis doesn't change. But if you have, or if you want uh, axes to be dependent, you can choose it. But as you can see, it's not good in this case. Uh, so after that, you can go to y-axis if you want to change the range. For example, for y-axis, you can use nice values. Okay, nice values are, yeah, I think the it this option works for us in this situation. You can use a log scale if you want for each of them. You can use a reverse axis direction, for example, like this. In grid tab, you can show grid lines for X and Y, you know, grid lines and minor grid lines. You can change the style, the thickness, the color as you want. Uh, ticks, ticks are these small lines. You can uh, change the length of them. For example, here, and you can reduce the length. This is for these settings are for major ticks, and these are for minor ticks. These are minor, or you can change the thickness. Uh, Here you can see the auto spacing for major ticks, which is 2. Oh, sorry. It seems that X has, I made a mistake. X has the um, meter unit, but I wrongly write down that per second, meter per second. Okay, we can change it here. So you can change the auto spacing. For example, if you want 1, now you can see the spacing is changed to 1. You can do the same for y-axis, and here uh, you have the uh, settings for labels. As you can see here, we have an interference between the label and these numbers, so we have to increase the offset for our label. Here you can find it, oh, under the title, of course. These are for labels. These are the settings for these small numbers. Under the title, if, for example, for Y1, if I increase the offset from line to 8, you can see here temperature now is further to the axis. You can change the font. Let's first go back to labels. You can change the number. You can change the fonts of the numbers. There are many fonts available. You can make them bold. You can increase the size of them. You can change the number format. This is you can see here the best float. Uh, you can change it, for example, to custom, to time and date, to exponent. Here you can see we have another format. And the offset from line, if you increase this distance between the numbers and the axis will change. You can specify an angle. For example, for x-axis, I change it to x1. For example, 45 degree, you can see here. Now they have some angle. And yeah, this is the spacing. As I told you, you can change the font, the size, the offset, and that's it, I think, in the color. Under the title, you can change the title. For example, now in this example, the X axis title is wrong, so I can change it under X axis under title tab. Uh, Here we have use variable name. That's why it is indicated here because we wrote this in our text file. So you can change it to use text and write down whatever you want here. Now you have the right access name. You can freeze the offset. You can change the position along the line, for example, 25%, but it is usually uh, at the 50% of this line. You can also change the size, the font, and these and the color also for X and Y axes. And if you want to have a close chart, you can under the line tab, you can, for example, X1, you can check this option, show grid border. Now we will have a close box for this chart. Uh, and you can change the offset, sorry, the thickness and the color. So I think that's it for modifying the chart. Let me increase bit. If you need much space, you can change the chart position by clicking on that, and now you have enough space at the left side and at the bottom side. So this is this for modifying the chart. But here, this is our data. How can we change it and modify this? You should go to a mapping style, and here we have different tabs for different charts, and also contours, vectors, and etc. Now here, because we have a chart under X file line, these options are available. You can go to line tab and change the color, for example, to black. You can change the thickness. You can change the pattern, for example, to dash. And if you have some pattern, you can change the pattern length. For example, here, this one or this one. You can play with these options to get the best view of your chart. You can show lines, or you can deselect this if you don't want to show it. It's, sometimes we have multiple charts, multiple lines, multiple curves, and we just want to show some of them. So we can use this option. And yeah, I think that's enough. Yeah, that's enough for today's session. In the next session, we will continue our training on plotting chart. We will import and load multiple charts, and we try to get the best view of them. And after that, we can add some error bars, or we can draw some symbols, bar charts. So in the next video, we will cover them. And yeah, that's it. I think it's good for this tutorial session. If the video is useful for you, do not forget to subscribe to the channel for uh, so you won't miss our future video. Please share these videos with your friends, and please like the video if you find the video useful. Uh, thank you so much for watching this video, and you can write down any if you have any comments for us, or you have any question. uh, until the next session, take care of yourselves. Bye bye.